In August of 1998, I was taken to a brand new world, a world called school. I was scared, really scared. I didn't know any of these people that I was going to be meeting and spending the next 13 years of my life growing and learning with. My mom soothed me by telling me that everything was going to be all right. Everybody would be really nice, and I would make friends very easily. So, I got all dressed up in my Barbie skirt and sweater, nice little pink and white sweater skirt set, and I got in the car and I went to school. After all, how mean can kindergartners really be? As you can see, I'm not a skinny person, and I never was. So, as I walked into my kindergarten classroom, a boy whose name I will never ever forget in my whole life yelled, "Look, Porky Pig just got to school." And honestly, I was devastated because everybody in the classroom just started laughing. All the kids that I was hoping to make friends with, all the kids that didn't know me for me, they just knew what I looked like. They were now laughing at me, now mocking me. My teacher, seeing what had happened, came over to me, looked at my heartbroken face, and stopped it as quickly as it started. And when she saw this poor little girl defenseless, not knowing what to do with herself, she came over, she knelt down next to me, and she said, "You know what? You look like the perfect person to play line leader for the first time in this classroom." And in that moment, it was like everything that had just happened never even happened. For the next 13 years, I was tormented with comments about my weight. I was tripped in gym class, tripped down the stairs. Guys dated me just to break up with me a week later. They were paid or dared to date me. Unfortunately, as time went on, the teachers did less and less. They seemed to not even care because I was in middle school, I was in high school, I was a big girl. I should be able to handle myself, right? My goal is to hopefully one day be able to help schools develop programs for anti-bullying. It starts, though, by getting teachers, students, and even parents involved. According to the CDC, suicide is the third leading cause of death among young people, resulting in about 44,000 deaths a year. 44,000 young people, ranging from 12 to 18 years old, who will never get to graduate high school, who will never get to get married, go to college. And the sad part is, half of these kids kill themselves because of bullying. So why are we not doing more to end this epidemic? It seems like as time goes on, it gets worse and worse, and people seem to care less and less. The more potent the LGBT community becomes, you see more and more bullying, and I'm not just talking in schools. Our own government bullies them by not allowing them to be married. Adults bully this community. Adults who should know better. And yet we're doing nothing to stop them. If you've ever seen the movie I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, you'd remember the scene where Chuck and Larry, the two main characters played by Adam Sandler and Kevin James, go to a function held by an LGBT association. And as these people leave this function, there are protesters standing on the sidewalk right out front. And they're screaming at these poor people, "Gay is not the way." I understand that this is just a fictional movie, but the message in it is very true. You watch all the characters in that movie stand there and they cry. And you have to feel for them. I mean, these people can't live their life the way they want because we've decided we don't like it. So we bully them into hiding. Anyone who is different from us, we have bullied them. We've said, oh, it's okay. Treat them like crap because they're different. I'm here today to say that's not okay. We need to put an end to it. And we need to start by finding out where it's all coming from. There are two types of children who are more likely to bully kids. You have the child who is very worried about popularity. They want to be cool. They want to fit in. So they do everything everybody else does. Jim's bullying somebody? Okay. I'll bully him too because I want him to like me. But what about that poor person you're bullying? What about him? What about her? What are you doing to them? And then you have the student who is very disconnected from peers, doesn't really care about popularity, so they don't care who they hurt. They don't care who they upset. They just want to watch people hurt. So if we see these type of people, we see Jim and John who are best friends since kindergarten. Junior year, they decide to try out for the football team. Jim makes it, John doesn't. So now Jim starts bullying John just because that's what the rest of the basketball team does. Why don't we stop it? Why do we leave it be okay for these poor kids who have to suffer this every day? Why was it when I was in high school and I was in a class and we were headed downstairs to the computer room and a kid tripped me? Why was it that when my mother called to find out after I had been taken to the emergency room what the teacher was planning to do to that kid, why did that teacher say to her, oh, kids will be kids, these things do happen? These things should not be happening. Teachers see bullying just as much as the rest of the students do, and they do nothing about it. Why? Why? At my middle school, there was a box that they kept in the library. It was called the bully box. Whoever wanted to could go in, fill out a slip, and put it in this box. If you were being bullied, if you were seeing people bully people, you could fill out a form. You could remain anonymous if you wanted to. If you just wanted to say, hey, I'm being bullied, this is the person who's doing it, but you didn't want to sign your name, it was fine. The counselors pulled that kid in. They talked to him. And you know what? At the end of the year, 6 out of 10 kids who had been bullied admitted that they used the bully box. And 5 out of 6 of those kids, the bullying stopped. If every school across America did this, we could be well on our way to ending bullying. We could be well on our way to dropping those suicide rates. We could be well on our way to a happier America. But no, we're letting it pass us by. We're letting the chance to make these children's lives better just go away. We are letting America torment the different people just because they're different. And now with things like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, we're letting it get even worse. We have to look beyond the schools for this. Because 9 times out of 10, kids aren't on Facebook in school saying mean things. They're at home. And their parents are sitting by letting them say whatever they want. They're letting them sit there. They're letting them type these terrible things on the computer. And nobody's saying a word. Because it's okay. No, it's not. People are hurt by these things. People are hurt by the negative comments you put on Facebook. People are hurt by the negative comments you put on Twitter. So we stop it. Parents have lost their sense of sitting down with their children, telling them what is the right thing and the wrong thing to say. Oftentimes, parents are just as big of bullies. I had a kid at my school who he bullied me so bad, I tried to commit suicide. And when the counselor called my family and his family in, his parents sat there and said that what he was saying about me being fat, about me being ugly, was okay because it was true. What kind of parents raise their children to say it's okay because it's true? Our parents, our teachers, our students need to help us. We can't do this all by ourselves. The parents need to take ownership for what their children are doing at home. Teachers need to take ownership for what kids are doing in school. Students need to be able to report what they see in the hallways without fear of being bullied themselves just because somebody found out they told. Students need to know who they can and where they can go when they see someone be bullied. Because right now, most schools don't even have a program in place. How can bullying be stopped if no one's trying to stop it? How can these 44,000 kids, half of which have killed themselves because of being bullied, how can they live their lives if no one ends what is hurting them? So I ask you today, what are you going to do? How are you going to put an end? I may be a college student now, but I still see bullying every day. When I started my online schooling, I was at Penn State. I had a forum due. I had to make a post, and when I made my post, a woman who was 33 years old in my class told me that I should drop out because my post was stupid, which meant I was stupid and I was never going to make it as a college student. 33 years old, and she's still bullying someone? Is this the world we want to live in? Are these the people we want to be around? The only way we are going to stop bullying is if we unite as a country and try. If we set motions to stop this bullying. So I ask you today, are you ready to unite with me and put an end to this?